The 2022 EuroBasket tournament came to an end with Spain beating France in the final game to win their fourth European title in the last 6 years. This year, there were 35 NBA players competing for their countries, and 3 of the league's best players were particularly the focus of attention. But now that the tournament is over, let's look at some of the most important lessons we've learned from it before the 2022-23 NBA season. First off, let's talk about Dennis Schroder and his comeback season after a disappointing 2021-22 season in which he played for the Boston Celtics and the Houston Rockets. Dennis Schroder used the 2022 EuroBasket tournament to show that he still has a lot to offer in the NBA. Schroder famously declined an $84 million contract extension with the Los Angeles Lakers for 2021. Now the 29-year-old's heading back to Hollywood next season after signing a 1-year, $2.64 million deal. We can definitely tell that the man's still got some unfinished business with the Lakers. Schroder was put in charge of the German national team. He averaged 22.1 points, 7.1 assists, and 2.3 rebounds per game, and was named to the All-Star 5. Not just this, but he even helped Germany win bronze. This was their very first EuroBasket medal since 2005, when they won silver. With Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley, the Lakers have a lot of options at point guard, and because of how well Schroder played at EuroBasket, he's got a good chance of getting a lot of playing time in LA this season. Next up, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo, a force of nature, at center. We probably already knew this, but the fact that Antetokounmpo was so good for Greece at EuroBasket made it even clearer. Cleaning the Glass says that Antetokounmpo played 32% of his minutes at center for the Bucks last season. This is up from 12% the previous season. Due to his size and strength, he was a very dominant force inside for Greece. Dunk after dunk, he left the defenders scrambling to stop him. Antetokounmpo was added to the All-Star 5 because he helped his team get to the quarterfinals by averaging 29.3 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 4.7 assists per game. Moving on to Luka Doncic, who's now in need of a second star. Luka Doncic has shown in his first 4 seasons in the NBA that he's far more capable of being the go-to guy during the regular season and the playoffs. It's been pretty much the same for Slovenia, where the 23-year-old has sometimes looked like the best player in the tournament. His 47-point game against France was the best example of this. Doncic needed some time to get used to the game. In the first quarter, he missed free throw attempts and tried to include his teammates in his play with his passing. However, he made back-to-back three-pointers to open the second quarter, a telltale sign that the 23-year-old was beginning to heat up. But when the tournament got down to the wire, Doncic ran out of steam. He struggled against Poland, making only 5 of 15 shots, and Slovenia was knocked out. The Mavericks have put talented role players around Doncic for next season, but until they can add an all-star caliber player, Doncic seems to be carrying too much of the team's workload for the Mavs to be taken seriously as a title contender. We really hope that he can handle the pressure, since he might be the only one we can count on. Not to mention Lauri Markkanen, who won't hold back in Utah. Markkanen was a part of the deal that sent Donovan Mitchell to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Utah Jazz were more interested in the draft picks that came with the deal, but the 25-year-old now has a chance to be the best player in Utah. Markkanen started all 61 games he played in for the Cavs last season. On .445, .358, .868 shooting, he averaged 14.8 points and 5.7 rebounds. But there were so many people in Cleveland that he never really got to be more than a supporting player. The Jazz are now on their way to having one of the worst records in the league, so Markkanen is in a great spot to lead their offense like he did for Finland. Back then, he averaged 27.9 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 2.4 assists, and was second in scoring, only to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Markkanen's tournament was full of great moments, but his 43-point game against Croatia was the best. It was a national record in a major tournament. Finally, Bojan Bogdanovic will soon be picked up by a much stronger team. The Utah Jazz had the best record in the NBA in 2020-2021, winning 52 games. They seemed like a team that might compete in the Western Conference for many years to come. The Jazz are currently getting ready for the start of the 2022-23 season without both Mitchell and Gobert, whom the organization traded last offseason, as well as head coach Quinn Snyder, who resigned from his position this offseason. Utah is currently rebuilding, so in the upcoming year, they'll be major sellers. Bogdanovic, 33, has been a significant offensive weapon for the Jazz since joining them from the Indiana Pacers in 2019. Bogdanovic has appeared in 2004 regular season games for Utah, averaging 18.4 points, 4.1 rebounds, 44.7% field goal shooting, and 39.7% from the three-point range. Bojan Bogdanovic is seen as a win-now sort of asset for many playoff contending clubs across the league due to his versatility at either the small forward or power forward positions. And after his excellent performance at the EuroBasket, this is now clearer than ever. So now it's quite likely that the veteran will be relocated at some point during the 2022-23 season, and he may already be moving to one of these teams, some of whom have already shown interest in him. Now for some other related news. To start off with, Draymond Green taking time off from the Warriors after a public conflict. Coach Steve Kerr said it was a mutual decision after the star forward punched teammate Jordan Poole in the face with great force. Green was supposed to get back on the team and practice with them on Saturday. He said that he hopes to play in Golden State's first game of the season on October 18th, but he doesn't know his status or how long he'll be out. Thankfully, the fight didn't hurt Poole in any way, and Green, the fiery veteran who's helped Golden State win 4 championships since 2015 to 2016, didn't seem to have gotten hurt either. We're not entirely sure what started the fight, but Green did mention that he was already upset about something that day before he competitively lost it. He also said that it had nothing to do with either player's unresolved contract situation. The Warriors' best player apologized in public and announced that he'd be taking a few days off to let the team heal from what happened. Up next, we have Kellen Martin and Javonte Smart signed by the Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans announced that Kellen Martin and Javonte Smart have joined the team. The details weren't revealed, but it's obvious why they wanted these players. Since 2019, Martin's played in 96 NBA games with Minnesota, Indiana, and Boston, averaging 5.5 points, 2.4 rebounds, and 0.6 assists. And last season, we all saw him play in 30 games for Boston and Indiana. He averaged 5.7 points, 0.7 assists, and 1.8 rebounds in 15 minutes per game. Smart, who played in 17 games for Milwaukee and Miami in 2021-22, averaged 3 points, 1.4 rebounds, and 0.9 assists per game. The Baton Rouge native went undrafted in 2021 after 3 years at LSU, where he averaged 13 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, as well as 1.2 steals per game in 93 matches. The team now has 20 players, including some of the very best in the league. Lastly, New Orleans has a lot of ways to score in the preseason. The rest of the NBA knows how good the top players on the New Orleans roster are at scoring, but through 3 preseason games, none of the Pelicans' big-name point producers has been the team's top scorer. Instead, guard Devontae Graham led the team with 21 points in their first exhibition game against Chicago. Then against Detroit, Jose Alvarado scored 28 points. Trey Murphy finished the week by scoring 27 points at San Antonio. He made 7 three-pointers on his way to the goal. Willie Green has a lot of offensive firepower. We can see this by the fact that his team is 3-0 and that 3 of his projected reserves have had big scoring nights. At the Ochsner Sports Performance Center, Green mentioned that he's happy to see so many players doing well, and he's definitely not the only one who feels that. In the second half of 2021-22, these 4 players, along with Larry Nance Jr., made up Green's second unit and helped the Pelicans win many of their most important games. That's a wrap for this video. How do you feel after finding out about all these lessons that we've learned through this season? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.